Welcome to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host, and of course you know me. I've been here for a long time. We're going into, we're already in our 7th year, so things are going pretty good. I have Dr. Phineas with me. I had him on my show. I had you on my show, I think it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yes.
Because the show's been going for so long.
That's right.
And all of a sudden you sort of contacted me as usual. They all come, Ninon, how are you? What do you do? Well, normally when you get that phone call, it's like, I want to come back on your show. Okay.
I just want to see you. I think you're so gorgeous.
That's so sweet. But you've had a lot under your belt since last time we were together.
I do, yeah.
What exactly do you do? Because I'm not quite sure what you do. I know you were doing a photographic shoot the other day.
Yes.
So give me a little bit of what you do.
So, I'm one of those guys that juggles a lot of different hats, so to speak,
I
in the
didn't know
industry.
you was a juggler, so that we know. I love to tease.
But actually, I was a child star.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I was a child star, and I started
famous or
very famous.
What?
I was first in the 1950s. If you can remember this, I was the mini-me of Pinky Lee.
Oh,
The
really?
Pinky Lee show.
Well, I don't
Hello,
know because
my name is Pinky
Lee.
Lee. But I was big in America, and I wasn't sure in England in those days.
We didn't have it. I don't even know if we had television.
So he was really like the first Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, really?
He had a big bow tie, funny, crazy guy, always doing a shtick.
And you were not the guy, obviously, because you were a kid.
I was like 5 years old.
5 years old.
And so I would tap a dance along with him, and because I had kids following me all over the country. And my mother said, well, after 9 months trying to hold you and give birth to you, I decided you were a tap dancer. So
she kicked around a lot.
Right into tap dance.
Mother crazy.
And here I am, 72 years old, still tap dancing on the Strip. If you can imagine.
Now, wait a second. Well, you're not one of these people that dances down by Fremont Street, are you?
No, I'm on the Strip at the Link at the Brooklyn Bowl, and I'm in Alice in Wonderland. So, Alice, and I'm still tap dancing.
And you're Alice.
No, I'm not Alice. I'm the Mad Hatter and the Red King, and, I haven't gender bent myself yet.
Not yet.
It's a temptation.
He's not picking up on my jokes, I'm telling you. He's not. Come on. You look so mad as a man.
I swear, we had so much fun the other night.
Yes.
Ninon and I have been sneaking out on town together.
Well, actually, it was something that fell into my lap, and it was a couple of tickets for the Love. What do they call it? The Love? The Beatles.
The Beatles Love Show.
The Love Show. I've often looked at it and thought, coming from England and knowing the Beatles, and I knew the Beatles when they first came out.
Yeah, exactly.
They were in London, and we were on Green Street.
Exactly.
And so I've never seen the show, so I've got this idea in my head about the show.
Yeah.
Well, the show was nothing like I thought it would be.
No, it's completely...
It's a theatrical... There's tremendous
extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Oh my gosh, maybe 70 people on stage all dancing,
70
stilts and
colours and
aerial
up hair and twirling around and twisting and everything. And what comes into it is the music.
The music, all the Beatles music, which we were singing
on
the front row.
Hang on a second. So the embarrassing moment comes because we're both in the entertainment business. So the embarrassing moment, and we're sitting second row from the front. So I'm kind of practically on stage. I'm like still touching them.
That's true.
And I'm laughing, but the horrible thing was that the songs come on and we both start singing them because we both know the words, because we're both old enough to know the words.
The other people are looking at us like they actually know these songs.
They know the words.
What are these songs? We're singing Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, All You Need Is Love. And the cast is waving at us like we've just become part of the cast.
But I knew a lot of them in it because they've been on my show. So when with the whole thing through, the people behind said, "Oh, you must be very well known." And I'm looking at her, I said, "Well, kind of." I wasn't going to go into that. But that was a fun time. Now, before all that, you were doing a film thing. You were doing a photography thing for...
Well, yes. So where that child star thing went was appearances on Gunsmoke. I was on Bonanza. As a child, Lassie.
Yes.
So I was all over the place, making these appearances. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older, I went to the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco,
Yes.
and did 2 seasons like as Christopher Wren in Mousetrap by Agatha Christie.
So did you get called for these spots and to do these different things because of your dancing and your attitude and your outgoing personality, which is...
You know, I was a guy working with Walt Disney when I was 5 years old. So everybody knew me in the industry,
Yes,
you know, in LA.
But normally when you're a child star, it's very difficult to continue.
It is.
You know, when you grow up,
well,
you know, and nobody wants you anymore
it's
because
true.
you're no longer the child. So how did you manage that?
So I moved to San Francisco and I went to UC Berkeley where I was studying theater and archaeology.
Okay.
And I ended up getting a PhD in archaeology, if you can imagine.
No.
On top of
to be honest with you.
all the rest of this.
The tap dancer.
Hanging out at ACT. And I was doing a lot of fashion modeling. In those days for Dior, and eventually for Versace.
But you just did a thing for Versace.
I'm still working for Versace 50 years later. I'm still modeling. And it was so amusing to me because I was 6 feet tall, thin. And so Sabina, the great agent, saw me and she said, let's send this guy to Milan. I started working in Milan. And Jimmy Gourmet came up to me, I'll never forget. And he said, well, enjoy it now, Doc, because when you're 28 years old, you'll be over. This will all be over.
I love when people say that.
I
love it when people say
I sent
that.
him tapes of me when I was on Night Rider.
You better send him a tape of the other night. Let him know you're still alive.
Here I am, 72, ready to kill it. Now, people like us,
You're
we just get
find
better
out
like
how old
wine.
I am later on.
We just
I've got a
get...
big break coming up later on, so don't forget, stay tuned, because I've got something really, really big to talk about.
But don't you feel like you're at your best right now? I feel like I'm at my best.
I always feel I'm at my best. There is no... I've had such an incredible life. That it's always, every day has been at my best.
Exactly.
I live, you know, people have have something, a destiny, I guess what you call it, and there's a journey to that, whatever they're trying to get or do, and they forget to live from here to there, and I don't do that. I live every single day is a day, and it's a beautiful day, and sometimes it's not so beautiful, but that's just how it is, because if you have, everything's good all the time, how are you going to make yourself any better? You can't.
Yeah.
So you have to have these sort of tragedies or these moments, I call them moments in time. And they're all moments in time. So you've had many moments in time.
I have. It's been amazing. And
so when are we getting married and drive the world crazy?
I think we should. I really...
Have you ever been married?
I have not. No. I've pretty much, you know, been
we
nose
could break that, you know.
Nose to grindstone in career for years.
Yes.
And, you know, in 78, I moved to LA. And when I moved to LA, I moved to Mandeville Canyon.
I know Mandeville Canyon very well.
I lived at Mandeville and Chalon.
Mandeville, I lived on Chalon.
So I always thought you were one of my neighbors.
I lived on Chalon. I lived at 10660 Chalon.
So you're down the street from me.
I was down the street. My actual local was the Bel Air Country. The Bel Air Country was over there. The Bel Air Hotel. I could walk to the Bel Air Hotel.
Because I thought, the first time I met you, I said, I swear to God, I know, because I lived in that corner house. Here was Lauren Green.
Yes.
Here was Sandy Dennis.
Yes.
Across the street was Greer Garson.
Yes.
And 3 doors down was Esther Williams.
Well, Esther Williams used to come to my house all the time. I knew Esther
Williams.
She came to my house
and I went to her house.
Story about Esther Williams. Esther Williams was so upset. She said, Ninon. I said, what's the matter? She said, well, I can't go to the bars anymore. And I said, what do you mean you can't go to the bars anymore? She just likes to go to the bars, have a drink, and mix with the young guys.
Oh, yeah, she's fabulous.
She loved that. She said, well, I can't do that anymore. I said, well, what's the reason? AIDS came out.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's true.
And so when AIDS came out, she didn't know what to do. Well, she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't want to get AIDS, obviously, but at the same time, she still wanted to have a good time. But that was her thing, and she said, but what a woman. But
I saw her all the time. Yeah. And, you know, when you live where we lived, in that, and they come over to my house for tennis.
And then I used to drive around in my off-white Rolls Royce that I had.
I think I saw you in that.
But you probably did. I drive. That was my car.
It was a fabulous life.
And of course, that was when I was married too. I was married to the greatest man in the entire world.
And you know, I remember Esther came over to my house one day and she goes, well, have you met my son Lorenzo? Well, Lorenzo Lamas, she was married to Fernando Lamas, and she said, I think you two would really get along. So I met Lorenzo, and he said, well, Doc, I want you to come on Knight Rider. So then I was on Knight Rider, and Lorenzo and I, we made like so many movies for HBO, like Out for Blood, 1 and 2. I'd be running down a runway, jump out of a helicopter, and my sister would go, I think I'm going to disown you, because You're on HBO 1, 2, and 3 right now, all with an Uzi.
Talk about
chasing people from a helicopter. It was like, because we were doing kickboxing movies and all kinds of fun stuff like that. It's crazy.
The funny thing with this guy, I don't push people who I am, what I am, and what I've done. I just never do that, and neither do you, because I've never known all these things you're telling me of what you've done and do. I never knew that. I was counted as another guy. I think people do, but no, people don't. People, oh, you're a movie star. Oh, you're this, and it's not. And it's just a matter of having another job. It's a job. It's just a different job. One's in entertainment and one's an accountant. And one's in real estate and but it's just a job.
It is a job. You know, I was just working on a movie. Here I am, 72. I'm still out there. And we're shooting out in Jean. So we're out in the middle of this desert riverbed. Heat. It really bad heat. And here we drive in with all these trailers. We look like a covered wagon. You know, I've got my trailer. And there's probably 150 people, you know, making this movie happen.
Of course.
We come together for a week. It's very intense. I've been in costumes. I'm sweating like a dog. I'm running out there.
You're still doing the job.
Doing my scene with these guys, looking right in their eyes, doing the scene. Then we pack it all up like a carnival, move to the next location. I may never see these people again.
But that's what it is.
And I don't think people realize the film industry, it's not this glamour.
It's not glamour at all. And I can tell you, I've been on many a set. It is not. You could be on a set 12 hours and nothing happens.
33 takes in 105-degree weather. Yeah. And my, my director's saying, okay, Doc, could you say that like Elvis Presley? Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, yeah. No, I changed my line, you know, to do Elvis Presley.
Get into character.
Okay, now can you say the line like Pee Wee Herman? Okay, yeah, like, think of it back.
What else can you do? You know, it's funny, I'm looking, because, you know, we had this big thing with Johnny Depp and all this stuff that went on, which was just like a movie or a documentary. Well, I don't know what it was, but anyway, whoever won. But I'm looking at your hands, and one of the questions was that how could Johnny Depp hit this young lady? Because he always had all these rings on, so therefore she would have dents all over the place. And I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Look at all these rings. I mean, I thought I had enough rings.
You know, I got very influenced. I was really good friends with Liberace. So I'd be around Liberace. And, you know,
you be careful, and then you better be careful, because they'll chop your bloody hands off.
People always say that to me when nothing ever happens. I go like this everywhere.
I go out with my jewelry.
I go to Rio de Janeiro like this, you know, walk down in the Copacabana, you know, nobody even says anything.
They probably don't think they're real. It's all fake.
That's the beauty of it. I mean, everybody's in Speedos, right?
Well, no, that's the greatest thing about being an actor, because you're always faking it.
Well, it's true.
You can't fake it.
It's true. I mean, you know, and I did have somebody stop me in a parking lot once, and you know, and I said,
"Give me all your diamonds. I don't have any diamonds."
I go, "You really want this stuff? You really want these rhinestones? These are rhinestones. What's wrong with you?" So the guy like takes my wallet. I like give him $300. And I said, "Could I just have my credit cards back? Because I mean, there's some good stuff in there, like Neiman Marcus." Like, he gave me all my credit cards back. Took the $300. Got his card left.
That's a good idea. Instead of him taking on whoever, if that ever happens to you, take a book out of the docks.
Yeah.
Just give them money, because that's all they basically.
Don't take my Medicare card, whatever you do.
Medicare is pretty cool these days. They take care of your teeth.
Oh,
they take care.
God, it's the best. Saving my life.
Yeah, they take care of your skin. They're taking care of your eyeglasses now. Everything.
Yeah, everything.
And
it's completely.
And everything. I think I'm going to retire.
I wonder if Medicare will cover me going to Brazil to see Dr. Pitanguy like Cher and get a complete
hang
lift.
on a second.
I want everything lifted.
I'll tell you, I'm stretching. Well, if they lift everything I have, I'm going to end up in one big
looking at my card like, this is not Portuguese, I don't think so.
A lot of people go to Mexico for a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, everybody. They're stars. They're always asking me, would you go with me to Tijuana? And I think your lips, I'm looking at their lips. It sort of looks like Daffy Duck. I'm thinking, you know, I don't think I want to go.
Fortunately, I don't need my lips doing. These are mine. I don't need.
Yeah, I really like my lips.
The last thing I want them any bigger. If anything, I'm trying to shrink them.
I can't even look at some of those lips in Hollywood. You know, like.
So, Doc, what have you got coming up?
Well, what I've got coming out, one thing I have a present for you. So this is my new book,
That
which
doesn't
is
matter.
from
I love
India
presents.
with Love.
From India.
So it's
Oh,
all
what
my
happened?
travels
Oh.
in India that I've made. I've been there 20 times.
So
I'm obsessed with India.
Have you traveled the world a lot?
I have 120 countries.
120 countries.
Mhm.
And which was your best?
Well, I would say...
Don't say America.
No, it's not. My best is either India, Japan, or Morocco. Those are three places
I think Morocco's beautiful. Japan,
love Morocco.
I happen to love Japanese.
I
love
love
Asian people,
Japan.
period. But I love Japan.
Just the aesthetic there. And I stay at Ryoanji Temple in Kyoto, where they have the raked rocks, and it's very zen.
When I was in Hong Kong, the women in Hong Kong are so... I was staying in this hotel, I won't mention the name, but I was staying in this hotel, and we were on a certain floor, and when we were arriving on this floor, there was like 4 or 5 girls behind the sort of counter making sure everything, and they all bowed down and, hello, how are you? And I would say something, and because, I'm always cracking jokes, and they all start laughing.
I love how they laugh.
I love how they laugh, because they're kind of embarrassed.
And they cover the teeth.
Yeah, they cover their teeth, they cover themselves when they laugh. But they were the Hong Kong people were so sweet. I know it was originally British, or it was run by the British.
They speak English.
I know, yeah.
They speak English better than I do.
Well, that's why they like me, because there's this full English accent coming up.
Right.
There's one of us.
Yes, exactly.
And
They
so
speak with a British accent.
But the people are fabulous.
They're fabulous.
But I think I love all people. I have not been to India yet.
Oh, I think you'd love India.
You think I will?
I really should take you there. It's just, I stay in palaces, like with the
said-
Maharaja.
Listen, all of you out there, you are all witnesses that we're going to go. We might not get married.
I was just in India.
You were just in India.
In filming a new TV show called Treasure Quest.
Okay.
And I stayed with the Maharaja of Baroda in a gorgeous palace. Amazing palace.
I don't know if he's dropping words or just being what he is.
No, it's just, I know I sound like a crazy man, but
this is what my life. This
is what my life is
like.
like
a crazy man. You're a crazy man.
It was very fascinating to be in India after all this time. It's been a while since I've been there.
Well, at least a couple of years because of the COVID thing, anyway.
Yes, exactly.
So it's quite a long
oh
time.
my gosh, it's like such a cluster of
Is India
cars.
what I see? What it is? Is it kind of you've got this category and that category? They don't seem to have a middle class.
No, they do now.
They do
now. I think thanks to Bill Gates went in there and brought a lot of factories over for, Apple and all these kinds of things, Microsoft. It's all in there now. So now they have this burgeoning middle class. And it's really the problem because all those people have Mercedes-Benzes, they're all well educated, there's so many doctors, so many engineers. And so now you try to go someplace in a tut-tut, you get in a tut-tut, and you're sort of winding your way through scene.
I would hate that. I would have to be in something enclosed.
Suddenly you come to this huge cluster of Mercedes-Benzes and then goat herders and then 2 sacred cows in the middle of the street, and you can't hurt the sacred cows or they get really mad.
Sacred.
So you see a very lovely lady get out of her Mercedes-Benz and she's got a banana and she's going, "Sacred cow, please. You're my mother. Please, we need to get down the road. Here's a banana. Follow me." And they're pleading to get the cows on the road so they can make it down the street. I mean, when I was young, I thought that was very amusing. At this age, it was a bit foreboding,
But it's funny because they used to have a lot of the Indian people. They would send their young children over here to study to be a doctor and everything, and they would always be. But then they would take and start working in America or Paris or London and everything. Mm-hmm. Now they come here for the university.
Yeah.
And they get their degree and everything. But now they've built these incredible hospitals in India. So now they can go take the quality and what they've learned. They can now take it back to India. And I think that's helping
the hospitals, people fly from New York to India to get operations because it's so much more reasonable.
But also I think the Indian doctors, I don't know why, but they're so methodical. They're so good at what they do.
And they have wonderful little hands for surgery. If you look at the hands, the hands they're meticulous with their hands.
Well, that's what they are. They're very meticulous, and they're very. I know that there was an Indian guy I know. He's a plastic surgeon, actually, Indian plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And I forgot his name. He would hate me. Well, he's a doctor too.
Yeah,
remember that part.
Some of my dear friends are doctors at Mayo Clinic here, and they're all Indian. and they're like oncologists. They're brain surgeons.
The brains, I mean, they're just incredible.
They're
Well, let's get back to you.
Well, and what's
My friend.
new for me
What's
is
new? What
I've
you got
got
coming
two new TV shows coming out, and one is great fun called The Savant Squad. And it's a little bit of a twist from what I normally do, but I'm playing a psychic private investigator, right? And this is a guy who goes into homes that are seriously haunted.
Now, are you going to be dressed like this, sort of? Because you always
No.
kind of dress...
This
you
wear
keep
because,
you keep these little whiskers, right?
I'm the face of Versace for a lot of television ads. I'm the face of Virgin Airways. So this is my Virgin Airways look when I do Virgin Hotel ads on TV. But in that show...
let that slide by.
That show is Southwestern. So we're all in cowboy
You
clothes.
didn't even get it.
Pretty much cowboy hats.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you'll be wearing a cowboy.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
But the good thing about this is a lot of reality shows that you see that are about paranormalism, they go in and they say, okay, we can see there's a ghost. They've got these meters. We can tell this room's haunted. And then they go, bye, we'll see you. And they just leave the ghost in the house and leave. And these homes are seriously haunted. So after I identify what's going on there, I exorcise those spirits out of the house so that they can live in their homes.
Oh.
So I'm taking it to the next level of actually exercising, showing people how to get rid of malicious
this interview is
spirits.
going awfully long, and I know that, but that's okay, because there's a reason why this interview is going long, and you'll find out at the end of all my shows and all my guests. You'll find out. But do ghosts really, can you really get rid of them?
Yes, I can.
How?
I
mean,
can.
in true life, we're not talking about acting, we're not talking about anything.
This is true life. This is a reality show. And I've been doing ghost busting since I was a little boy. Because our family home was quite haunted.
You don't no longer wanted her, get out of her.
Yeah. So you have to do it in a very special way. And I trained at the Theosophical Society in Madras, India. I attended the School of Wisdom. And this was it came from Madame Blavatsky herself, how she would get rid of spirits and ghosts when they were malicious in a house.
I didn't know anything about this guy.
Yeah. So
this is in true life you do this.
In true life, I help so many people. I mean, there's very famous people in Vegas.
Do you think I have a ghost in my house?
I don't think so. I sort of felt a little bit of a spirit when I came in, but I think it is an angelic spirit, and I think it's your husband watching over you. I do feel that. I do feel that. And it's nothing malicious. He's just good. And
he was good to me.
He's an angel who
We
comes
had a kind of
in
understanding. He had 2 other wives before me, and I guess they couldn't work him out. And we were married 29 years actually, and we were just perfect for each other. I'm not saying we're 2 perfect people, we're great and we're wonderful. No, but we got married and we were just perfect together. We had a few rows, and when we had an argument or a row, it was really, really big, but it was only we only had like 4 or 5 of them in 29 years. So
I sense it.
So we didn't, but we had a very understanding.
He's like a protected guardian spirit around you. He checks on you. And I kind of feel him move in and move out. He doesn't want to be oppressive. He doesn't want to make you feel weird. But he's just watching over you, making sure everything's okay. And that's beautiful.
Do I have another man in my house?
I don't know. I don't sense it. I don't really sense it.
Do I have another man in my life?
Well, now you're asking me to tell your fortune.
Well, no, I haven't got the money yet. Fortune to me means money.
You're such a beautiful woman. Why not? Why not?
Yes.
I keep that door open.
No, I've had my door's very much open. I don't close my doors. In fact, it's so funny.
So much fun.
I promise I'll close the show out. I know I'm really bad, but I don't mind being bad. I can be bad. I'm going to find out.
I don't mind being bad. Do any of you out there mind being bad?
How bad I can be, and how bad, and it doesn't really matter.
And really, we are both very bad. When we go out in Vegas, we are out of control.
The other day, where was it, Mandalay Bay? Where were we?
We were in the Mirage.
We were in the Mirage. And I've got these, I had this outfit on.
Well, we both looked like $1 million, and people were coming up and taking our pictures.
They were taking our pictures. It was the funniest thing, and they were all watching us, and we're just marching around like, what did you go see this love boat thing, whatever it was.
And we had more energy than the 25-year-olds. That was the really sad part.
And then we're skinny and we're running and we're doing all our things. Okay, Doc, I'm going to close out. I promise.
This was so much fun. Thank you.
Now, how can anybody reach you and give you more parts and doing all this crazy?
Please. Well, I am there in almost every social media. So on Facebook, you can reach out. Just look for Doc Phineas, DOCPHINEAS. And there's my new book, which is called From India with Love. And also feel free to on Instagram. I'm there on TikTok. I'm sure you'd have a lot of fun with me. Just find me and drphineas.com, and you'll find out all the kind of stuff
Let
I'm
me tell
into.
you something. If you can't find him, he will find you.
I will. I will find you.
You will. Thanks for watching Vegas Live with Ninon. It's been amazing. All my interviews never go the way I plan them because I don't plan them, so I don't get upset. I don't worry about anything because I never know. I don't pre-interview, and I know more about you today than I did the other evening going out because all we did was laugh and joke, which is that's all you really need to do when you go out. Don't get too serious out there. It's live every day to the extent you can. And put a little bit more into it because it's worth it, absolutely. I've got another guest coming up, a couple of them coming up, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Take care.